Hi everyone, I'm Deanne from Newfoundland, Canada. Welcome to my channel, Stitching on the Rock. Thank you for everyone that's been watching my videos and subscribing. I know we have a few new subscribers since the last video, so thank you so much. Anyone who's been here since the beginning, thank you. I'm glad you stuck around. I don't even know what I want to say to you guys, except that I appreciate you so much. When I started this, I know I say this almost every video, but I didn't expect anyone to subscribe, let alone I think I've got 425 subscribers, so that means a lot to me. Let me see what I can tell you about what's been going on in my life in the last couple of weeks. I have my flooring down. I know I've been talking about painting my dining room and getting new flooring and getting a new front door. Well, everything is done now, except I have a few things to touch up in the kitchen as far as paint goes. I thought I had broken my toe because of this flooring, but it turns out I didn't, which is good. I moved everything out of my dining room. I had flooring put down in my dining room, kitchen, and entryway for anyone who didn't know that. So I moved everything out of the dining room to give the guys space to put the flooring down. So the hutch went in the hallway. The chairs went in the living room. The table came apart and went in the living room. I have a leaf for my table and I don't use it because I have a very small dining room. But I store it behind my hutch. So I took that and I leaned it up against the door that goes to my basement. And I had a step ladder that I was using when I was painting that. So I leaned that against the door going down my basement out of the way so it wouldn't get, be a hindrance to the people putting the flooring down. I was sitting in the living room that evening, the day before they were putting down the flooring, and I thought, I have to close that door because I have to put the cat in the basement, so because they'll be coming and going from their truck, and I didn't want to worry about having to keep an eye on her. So I took a hold of the ladder to move it into the living room, and the leaf from my table that was leaning against the door went that way, and the corner of it landed on my toe, my big toe. And I, of course, screamed and said several words that I won't repeat and thought, oh my God, I've broken my toe. Well, I put ice on it, and it turns out I could wiggle it, and it wasn't hurting because of wiggling. It was hurting painful from where the leaf hit, but like it didn't hurt when I moved my toe. So I didn't break it, but I had a bruise from the bottom of my nail to where my toe attaches to my foot, and it was purple and yellow and blue and every other color you can think of. So that was fun. That was the most exciting thing that happened. Other than that, Aaron had a dentist appointment, no cavities, perfect. Don't have to see them for 6 months. Baseball is done as of last Saturday. I didn't have it this weekend because of the long weekend. Next Friday night, they're doing a under the lights. One of the big ball fields here in town has lights so they can play at night. So they do that at the end of the season for them. Something fun for them. He goes back to school on Wednesday. Classes start on Thursday, but they go back to get their their schedule and their supply lists and all that on Wednesday. Aaron's doctor's appointment Wednesday afternoon, but I figured that was the best day. He wasn't going to miss much. If they gave out a few sheets in a class, then he could get them the next day. School is stressful for us if you've been watching my videos. Aaron has autism and ADHD, and so new environment, twice the size of school. So it's going to be stressful for the first couple of weeks. We'll see how it goes. He's matured a lot over the summer. He's taking more responsibility for, self-care and stuff like that. So, he may surprise us, but he may also just be so overwhelmed with all the new stuff that he just can't control this impulsivity that he has, and we'll see. Anyway, I have a new phone. I don't know if you'll notice with the quality of the video or not. I had an iPhone 8, which I had for 5 years, and it was starting to lock up, especially when I was playing games. I don't play very many, but I have a couple that I really enjoy playing, and so a couple of rounds of the game it would lock up, and I'd have to restart the phone and that. So last Saturday, my mom went to baseball with us, so I said, will you stay at the house with Aaron and take Albert with me to look and see what kind of phones are out there and what plans are and how much more I'm going to have to pay. And that, because Albert's my tech guy. I know how to turn the phone on, I know how to use the apps, but I don't know the specifications and that kind of stuff. Excuse me. So we went to, I went to pick him up. He went home for lunch, and I went to pick him up. I pulled in front of his house and pulled out my phone to text him, say I'm here. And the home button on my phone wouldn't work. The only way to get into anything was to turn the phone off, turn it back on, and click on whatever you wanted. And then to get out of that, you'd have to turn the phone off and turn it back on. So I said, I guess I'm getting a new phone today. So I went from an iPhone to Samsung. And I took a couple of pictures today. We went for a drive today to get out and enjoy the last weekend of the summer. And oh my goodness, the difference in the quality of the pictures, it's amazing. I'm so happy with the quality of the camera, and that's the main thing I want on the phone, is that the camera works well. And another thing I really like that I couldn't do on my own phone, my other phone, was if I take a picture, say, of a cross stitch I've finished, I can put it in a folder, say, finished cross stitch, and it goes out of like the gallery and into that folder. With the other one, if I did that, it would still stay in the gallery. So basically I had 2 copies of each picture. So for me, who likes to be organized, my desktop on my phones and my tablets and all that are folders, and like I like things tucked away and the actual home screen to be as clear as it can be. Okay, so that's about what's going on with life. I have a few whips, a few fully finishes, a finish, some stash enhancement stuff. But first up, I have a previous finish. You can believe that. Little story behind it. I finished the Be Nice from Primrose Cottage that I'm pretty sure I showed you guys in the last video. I need to write down what I've shown you in the video so I can remember for the next one, not show it again. But anyway, I finished it into a pillow. First time ever doing a pillow. I don't sew. I don't even sew on a button. It's always, Mom, can you sew this button on for me? So my mother came and she actually sewed the pillow up when I was out of the house, so I didn't have any view of how that happened. But I stuffed it, and she showed me how to close it. But anyway. 2 days later, Helen D, who I call her my floss tube hero, but I don't know if that's the right word, but she is one of the 2 or 3 that as soon as a video goes up, I have to sit down and watch it. Well, she posted up a basic pillow finish 2 days after I finished my pillow. So, and she puts interfacing on the back of her pieces, which I didn't do with mine, and because it gives it some stability. So I said to Mom, after I watched that, I said, Mom, do you have any interfacing? And she said, I'm not sure. I don't think so, because she doesn't sew much anymore either. So she went looking. She didn't have any, but she said, I found this cross stitch. Did you do this? And I said, well, since I'm the only person in the family that cross stitches, yes, I did do it. So she gave it to me. So this is a previous finish. Ta-da! It's, I guess, kind of like it's a Thanksgiving, I guess, ring of fruits and vegetables. Obviously done in the late 80s or early 90s due to the, it's rubber ring on it, hoop, that's the word I was looking for, a peach rubber hoop and a little bit of lace. And the back is not too bad. And it's done on green Aida. So yeah, that's part of my cross stitch history. It was fun that she found it. I actually did some long stitches on it too, so I was getting real fancy with that one. So let's see what's up. All my whips are on the floor because this is my second or third attempt at this video, because I discovered that I had turned on the automatic zoom. So every time I went here, it zoomed over here, and every time I went in, it zoomed. And I thought you guys would not enjoy that at all. I didn't enjoy watching the playback of it. So I gotta bend down and get my, oh, Kitty's coming for a visit. Yeah, there's her back and her tail. You want to be in the middle of it? Come over here. No, she says, I don't want to be on camera. Oh, back again. All right. Oh, out of the way. Thank you. Now she's going to look out the window and you might see her tail. Did. No. All right. She's moved away from me. So I'm just going to bend down and get my whips. There aren't many. I kind of had a bit of a stitching slump, I guess, after my last video. I did pretty good for a couple of days, and I did very good for a couple of days, and then I kind of was like, I don't really want to stitch on my whips. I cured that. I started a couple of things. So first up in random order is Queen of Hearts by Rachel Anderson. My birthday start from May, and I got like 146 stitches put in, so not much at all. And here we are. My diagonal is going down. I'm gonna try and look around. I don't know if you can tell, but there is purple in it now and brown. So I'm slowly making my way down that diagonal. But I've basically stopped the black stitches in that, and now I think I've right down here, I started at the 814 stitches. If you remember, there's like 88,848. There are about 88,814 stitches in. Next is Tulip House, and this one actually falls into my September Smalls wheel. It hasn't come up yet, but I'll talk about that in a minute. Kitty, again. As long as I video in the dining room, Kitty will be around. So here is Tulip House. So I finished all of the yellow in the house, so it's two different tones of yellow. And I did the white, which is really hard to see. So I finished the white in these two windows. Finish the white in this motif, and these three windows, because there's a line of brown that goes down, divides these two, has gotten half of the white done. So I only have to finish the white and the brown in the windows and the door, and then there's a motif that goes down here at the bottom, and that'll be done. So it may come up in September on my wheel. And I did a quick stitch Pride and Prejudice from Amy Stewart. There, and I got 114 stitches in this. Once again, not a lot. So here we are. I always hold them the wrong way, but I always start in the top left corner. So if I'm holding it up the wrong way, you can still figure out which is top. So there. So I worked some more down here in the purples and that. They're grapes, I believe, and there might be a few flowers in there. So once again, slowly working down that diagonal. Not working really fast on these large ones. This month has not helped me. Like, wanted to stitch on my Heaven and Earth design, as you will see. I fully finished a couple of things, and I finished something, and now I'm working on something else. So the smalls are really getting my motivation this month, and I don't know if it will continue to be that way or if I'll jump back and forth. And then finally, in my previous WIPs, on the 24th and 25th, I worked on Ornamental Joy by Country Cottage Needleworks. And I got the J done and a little start on the Y. And like I said, my plan is to have it all fully finished for Christmas, and I still believe I can get there. I can get the Y done in September, and maybe even get a start on the things around the Y and around the word. So if I get this done in September, I figured I'd have a good chance to get all of this done in October, and then I only have to do these two in November. So I don't see why I wouldn't get it done unless something comes up between now and then. And so that was all my WIPs that I was working on previous to the last video that I showed you, that I worked on since the last video, if that makes sense. Last time, I don't remember, I know I was started on this, but I don't know if I finished it. Like, not fully finished, but finished the stitching part of it last time, which was Be Nice by the Primrose Cottage Stitches. And I have to say, this is the fastest thing I've ever stitched. Yes, because I started on Friday and I finished stitching on Sunday. It was a great stitch. It was so easy and so fast, and I love getting it done in 3 days. And this was the pillow that my mom sewed up, and I stuffed and I did the finishing, which I'm not thrilled with, but first attempt, gotta remember that. So there we are. And I've decided that this will be a stitch share or stash share when I reach 500 subscribers. So if you're watching and you're not subscribed and you're interested in receiving this or winning this, subscribe. You never know. I know Mary Lynn. I have friends, Mary Lynn and Mary Lou, and I always get them mixed up when I talk to them. So Mary Lynn won the snowman, and she received it, and so she can win, you can win. I also have something else in mind as well when I reach 500, but I'm not going to tell you what that is until I get there and I offer it. Yeah, so there we are. And the backing fabric I used the same, if you've been watching my videos, I remember Erin's student assistant gift that I did, the stitching with the housewives mug on the easel. That was the same fabric I used there that I used here. So let's do things I've gotten out of it, and came from Walmart, I believe. And I have enough that I might actually get a third thing out of it, so that's great. So the second fully finished item I had this month is, it's called The Witch Is Me by Amy Brucken, B-R-U-E-C-K-E-N, Brucken, I think that's how I would pronounce it, Brucken. It's found in the 2011 Halloween collection. It's on the back here. There she is. No, it had purple chronic number 8 in her hat, and her eyes I think were done with red, and I didn't have either one of them, and so I didn't bother. And this green stuff that's here is supposed to be her hair is DMC memory thread. Now I went to Michael's and they didn't have it. I have some, don't know where I got it, but mine is pink. So I didn't think that would work. And I only had, the only color I had in my stash that called for it was the face one, Cadet, by Week Dye Works. So I pulled threads from my own stash. Okay, and this is what I used. So I use the, oh, sorry, oh, let's get this straightened out. The Cadet, that was what her face was. And then the rest of them that I used were Week Dye Works Mulberry, which is the purple that is found in our hat. And I used Gentle Arts Buckeye Scarlet for her eyes and the backstitch of her mouth. And I used Week Dye Works Charcoal for black in her hat and her collar of her shirt. And then I used Gentle Arts Pine for the stem of the pumpkin. And I notice my sun has dawned since I've been making the video, so it might be a little bit darker for the rest of the video. Let me just pause and turn on. Sorry about that. It was nice and bright when I was here starting off, and the sun disappeared really, really quickly. And so that was my 2 fully finished items for the month of September. And then I finished today this one, which is called Witch, and it's by The Witchy Stitcher. I think it was a freebie. I think if you just Google it, you'd find it. But it has the word witch. Let's see if I can get that out. It has the word witch stitched across the top, but I decided to leave that out. I just kind of like the cauldron, the bubbling cauldron. I thought that was cute. And it's just, I just used the call for DMC for it. So it's all ready for turning into a pillow. Maybe I'll be happier with my stitching on this one. But practice makes perfect, right? So that's that. And I started today. So all of these, I should say, the Witch's Me and Witch, and this one here, are all fit into what I'm calling September Smalls, which I decided I wanted to stitch a bunch of things that are less than 100 stitches by 100 stitches to get some finishes done. And especially, as you can tell, I'm doing Halloween, fall, those types of things, because I've never stitched anything small to have on display for any time of the year. I've always been a big piece stitcher, like Mirabilias and Hades and that size, and so I love stitching them and they look beautiful, but sometimes it takes years to get them finished to put on display. So this is something I decided to start trying this month, and I might pick in 2 or 3 months. I might pick a month, well, probably November, 2 months time. I do some Christmas smalls so I can have a few things on display. And I might do that throughout the year to have spring and summer stuff as well. So the one I started today is also from this book. So this book's turning out to be really, really, I randomly bought it years ago, obviously 2011, and it's turning out this year to be really, really useful. It's this one right here, which is called Happy Halloween, the pumpkin with Happy Halloween on. And it's by the Sunflower Seed, which I've never heard of except for this design. And I'm doing it as part of a challenge on a Facebook group, and it's a new Facebook group, but it kind of exploded. There might be 2,000 members now, at least over 1,000. It's called Stitching with Friends, and Christy, who is Java Girl Stitches, is one of the administrators. There's a couple other ladies that are friends of hers, but I don't know if they have last 2 channels or not. I haven't really looked into it, but I do love Christy, so I love her finishes. So they wanted you to do a piece that was at least 5 by 5, or in some form, work out 5 by 5. That was fall or Halloween, or that type of, because they're doing Spooktacular September, and they have some really nice prizes. You have to have it fully finished by the 28th, I believe, which means fully finished, not just stitched. This one is 6 by 4 7/8, so they said fine. And they said if you're doing some salves or something, they were fine as long as they, they wanted you to start it in September, but I think a couple of the styles started like really late in August, but they said they were fine. And they said if you were doing something like 2x11, that was fine. Just as long as they all worked out to be fairly close in size. So this one is the one I picked out. And I'm doing it in the College Ford DMC. And I started it today on our drive. I can't stitch while I'm driving, but we pulled in by a pond and Albert and Aaron got out and fed the ducks and I started it. To say I had started. So that's how much I got done. And I'm stitching it on the 28 count Monaco that I coffee tea dyed with the orange Pico. So it's kind of yellowy orange fabric. But it's definitely started. Oh, and I forgot one other thing that I started. I'm all over the place because, like I said, this is my third start of this video because I wanted to get rid of the auto zoom, and it has kind of screwed me up in my order of doing things. Late in August I started this one, so I showed you some threads, that I bought from Brennan Needle, which is a local company here in St. John's, and I wanted to try using one of them in a design, so I searched for a single thread pattern. I didn't find any until I remembered that I had this. So there's a couple. This one isn't on either side of the cover. It's the first design in here, which is this one here. It's called Spirited Mandala. I think that's how you pronounce it. That's how I pronounce it, Mandala, by Ink Circles. And so I thought this was really, really pretty design. And I've never done an ink circle. I wanted to, and they came out with one last week, and I should have took a picture and wrote down the name, but I can't remember, but it was beautiful. And the thread, the variegated thread that is used with it, oh my goodness. But so anyway, this is what I decided to do with Brennan Needle thread, and I waited until I ordered 3 that I showed you last video, and then I ordered 3 more in August, and I wanted to wait till they didn't make a decision on the color. And I decided on one that I already had last month, and it's called Belle Island Ore, and it's black and gray, and it's got a little bit of tealy color in it. Let's see if I can hold it up and see if it will. It's lovely. And I'm stitching on a 28 count hand dyed opalescent from Silk Weavers, and I don't know the color. Some of the ones I had in my stash, because I've had them for a long time, had names and some didn't. But anyway, this is what I've gotten done. So this is the top corner, and it goes down to there. But unfortunately, it's 115 by 115, so it's not falling into my September smalls. So I put it aside for this month, and we'll see if I can get back to it. Let's see. Did I tell you everything I wanted to tell you about everything I said? Well, you knew that the Be Nice was done on the white. Oh, I forgot to tell you what fabric this was. I was looking through everything here and seeing what I remembered and what I didn't. I don't know if I remembered to tell you that the Queen of Hearts was stitched on 1/1 on 28 count Dahlia, and that Pride and Prejudice is stitched 1/1 on Ice Blue. I probably forgot to tell you those two as well. And I think the Tulip House is just stitched on a white linen, and same thing with this one and this one. They're all just white linen scraps that I had in my stash. Let's see, is there anything else? I forgot to tell you what it was stitched on. Ornamental Joy. I forgot to tell you that was stitched on an off-white or an ivory 28 count even weave that I dyed with tan rip dye. There. This one is stitched on a 28 count Summer Khaki Jobleen even weave. And I actually have another piece cut for my next small when I get the Happy Halloween done. Okay, I think I've caught up on everything that I meant to do. Stash. I keep going out of the screen. Sorry. Totally not organized. Blame it on the new phone. Okay, my new thread from Burning Needle. I got Sandlin, which is oranges, and I think I'm going to use this on one of my patterns that I just got a couple of days ago. I'll show you in a minute. And then this one is Old Hag, which is beautiful. Teals. Oh, the colors are gorgeous. And they just, they feel lovely. And this one is Dark Teal. Dark Tickle. Tongue is just not working at all today. But it's the light dark tickle, which I know doesn't make sense. But I think they dye this in 2 different color ways, but this is the lighter one, and it's purpley, plummy, and they're really pretty. Little tiny bits of yellow in it. You can see right there, there's a little tiny bit of yellow here and up here. I don't know if you can see those. All beautiful colors. Definitely will be getting more. September, I'm planning to, besides do smalls, stitch from Stash. Other than DMC that I need to replace, which I might not need to replace any in a while, which I will show you in a minute why. I'm holding off on purchases in September. Except I purchased something in September. But it was on the 1st. And that was a couple of patterns from Darlene Dion Designs on Etsy. Because I paid on the 1st. She posted up this, I think it might have been the last day of August. And I had to wait. Well, I didn't have to, but I needed to. Because I had to. Anyway, she has this up in her Etsy, which is so sweet. It is adorable. She's selling it for 99 cents. So go and buy it for 99 cents. How can you turn down such an adorable little pattern? And I was thinking the darkest pumpkin might look nice. It's a bit brighter, but I haven't made up my mind, but I thought I want to use that thread so badly. And you can't just buy one pattern at 99 cents. So I bought her Signs of Autumn. And I have now Signs of Summer and Signs of Autumn. And both of these fall under my smalls. So they're in my wheel. Hopefully one of them will spin through before the month is over. Excuse me. I popped into Value Village yesterday because I wanted some interfacing for The Witch Is Me to follow Helen's tutorial. And just before you get to my closest fabric store where I went, there's Value Village. And I have gotten a couple of Rae Dunn mugs there. So I said, well, I'm here. Might as well pop in and see. There's no Rae Dunn. But there was. And I like getting something. I watched the videos and all the girls talk about all the cross stitch stuff they get at thrift stores. And I remember Helen last year or the year before got like close to a dozen Mirabilia patterns. And I'm like, well, we have a few thrift stores around town, like charity ones, and we have Value Village is charity one, but that's the biggest one we have in town. as far as I'm concerned, they're junk stores here. It's whatever people don't want that they don't bother throwing the garbage. So getting anything here, and I was shocked. I went into where the arts and crafts section was, and this is not the original bag because they smelled a little. So I put them in a bag with some of the little tied bead things. I was like, no, they're not full, and but there's 76 bobbins here, and we pay 79 cents each for them. So to get 76 for $2.99, even if I only use 3 of them, I've got a deal, or 4 of them, whatever. Whatever 79 divided into $2.99 works out to be. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Anyway, that scatterbrained video is my floss tube for this time. If you can make any sense of anything I've said or done, yeah. So in 2 weeks' time, I'm going to be at a scrapbooking retreat. So more than likely, my video will be on Monday instead of Sunday, because I don't want to have to bring whatever I've done in cross stitch in 2 weeks to a scrapbooking retreat, even if I could find time to video in a place that's quiet enough to video. So it will be 2 weeks from tomorrow. You'll watch this disaster again. I guess that's everything. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your long weekend. Happy Labor Day. And I'll see you later. Bye.